I bought quite a while ago a TES Plus and a TE2 Plus in a pretty bad shape. I fixed the TES Plus easily, but the TE2 Plus was a different story. Missing harness for the button, the touchpad, the ribbon cable was cut, bad electronic, and a broken latch. I've managed to repair or replace most of the missing pieces, except for the top. Sure, the plexiglass and the artwork were missing, but also the bezel which holding them. The thing is, since the death of Madcatz, the bezel for the TE2 becomes a rare thing, and when it pops up on eBay, it's either expensive or doesn't last long. In the end, I had to put the project on the shelf. Fast forward recently, even if I managed to repair it, the latch is still a common issue among the fighting community, so I remodeled the whole part in its two pieces so people can reprint it easily. Everything is published on Thingiverse. If you don't own a 3D printer, you can also buy them on Shapeways. But again, the bezel is a different story. Even with my moderate large printer, I cannot print such a big part in a single piece. I had to break it down, but since printing a lot of different parts and assemble them is a pain, I had to find a smart way to cut the bezel. If you look at the back, you can see symmetries, but we need to keep the screw insert, so I decided to cut this way. The straight part will be printed 4 times for each side. This is the longest part and should fit in most of printer. Then the corner need to match, so I made L-shaped parts, a corner right and a corner left. Both have to be printed twice. After recreating the whole bezel in the CAD software, I split it in a way so it should be easy to assemble. Then I print the 8th part. It takes some time to print all of them. 4 straights, 2 left corners and 2 right corners. But at the end, they are fitting pretty nicely. Now we need to put the knurled insert in each of them. Those are for 4mm screws and are 6mm long. Just hit them until they sink into the hole. I'm using my desoldering gun and I try to stay as straight as possible. Test them with a screw, then on the arcade stick to see if they are sitting properly. When this is done, you can start to assemble your frame. I'm using super glue for a quick bond, but you can use whatever you are familiar with. Each time, let it rest and test on real condition on each side. If you're looking at the part, you will see a small gap between them. I like to melt plastic as a welding process. Careful when you're using super glue, when it hits, it makes toxic fumes. Try to stay as flat as possible. The other side doesn't have this gap, so just add a small amount of plastic or a thin layer. You can reuse the old brim of your 3D print. Next, you have to sand everything until it's smooth and flat on the visible part. Sand the other side and make sure it's still sitting properly in the girder of the stick. If you have imperfection or cavities you cannot get rid with sanding, you can use a filler. I'm going to use Milliput, but you can use something else like Bondo. It's a big compound material and easy to work. Just blend the same amount of each compound and knead it. You can add water to help the process. Then you put it in the cavity. Again, you can use a bit of water to help smoothing everything. Of course, you will have to sand it to avoid bumps or any imperfection. Repeat the process until you finally assemble all your frame. When it's done, a final test to see if everything is sitting well. If you are happy with that, you can start to paint it. No secret here. You put a layer of primer, you sand it, you paint, you sand your mistake, you paint again, rinse and repeat until you are happy with the result. So, this is the result of our printing. So I'm pretty happy with the painting. So can you see which one is the real one? Which one is the fake one? Any idea? Well, to transfer. Both of them have been printed. This one is the original one, which has been repainted. Thanks for watching.